My name is Kumoyo Akakandelo Achikote, and I welcome you this morning to a very special program brought to you by the United Party for National Development, UPND, and I'm featuring UPND Party President Hakainde Hichilema. Good morning and welcome to this interview.
Good morning, Kumoyo. Lanabahe Sumazuba, Mambumbo Yadiambai. I hope you're okay this morning. And Gashilimane, Mulivatimane, Mudinai. Thank you very much for receiving us very, very well yesterday. We are really grateful. We are humbled. Kandele Shang.
Just on that, you're here in Western Province. How has been your journey so far leading up to date?
Oh, it's been tough. It's been tough for many people. They would have called it traumatic. But for me, I call it destiny. All that we've gone through, which is known by most people, Mabulozi, Kaufela, Zambia, Kaufela, I call it destiny. I call it destiny. You know what has happened to us several times. We try and come here, and other citizens, we are always constrained. Even to come here, to be here today, to be on this program today, it's just the power of Mulimu. You know, we were stopped on the Copper Belt, in Eastern Province, in northern Muchinga, Wapula. We had to travel the whole night from northern province through Wapula to reach Lusaka to be able to arrive here in the afternoon. Kamsu. Kamsu is yesterday, isn't it? Mabani. It's just Molimu's grace. These are the challenges. We're not allowed to campaign. Kono, they are campaigning. But every time I say I'm going near Mongu, he says, near Mongu. He, you know who he, right? Now I'm supposed to be on the Copper Belt. Today, he's gone to the Copper Belt. I was in Wapula, he goes to Wapula. Challenge after challenge, obstruction after obstruction. Kiss Kaman. This is supposed to be a democracy. And at this score, to apologize. I apologize, Banabahesu, for not being able to come here on time because of these obstructions. And I really, really would have loved to go everywhere. And I hope today I'll be able to touch different parts of Bulos, my loved Bulos, our loved Bulos, our loved Zambia. Because every inch of Bulos is an inch of ours. All of us, 18 million people, Zambians. So this is really something that must come to an end. These obstructions, this violence, this abuse, people being detained here, there, all the time, will come to an end soon because there will be a change of government. There will be a change of government. To Kaufela, Zambia, Kaufela, Babatakuchincha Muso. Babatakuchincha Muso. Rifasi Kaufela. You know? And it will happen. It doesn't matter what they do to obstruct us. Change is here. It's time for change. And it will happen. There's no other way because people have decided power belongs to people, not to an individual or two. So there we are. We're here. We're very grateful to be here. I wish I could stay here forever there. You know, I love this place. I gaze at the water. I gaze at the grass. I gaze at all these things and what we can do with it. And I want to commit to Banabayas, Banabamalos, like all Zambians, Mambumbo Yadiambai, that a better life is just on the horizon. A better life is coming. A new dawn is coming, which will treat everybody equitably, and give them a fair opportunity to enjoy his well-being, a well-deserved well-being. Rich province like this, there's no reason that people should be poor here. No, Thank you.
Mr. Hakainde, you talk of your beloved Bulos Walina, Omlat, and Western Province has always been supporting you even in the previous election. And you talk of the wind of change. Indeed. How different is 2021 for you and the people of Western Province?
Well, we've been on a journey together with the Bantu of his promise, together with the people of Zambia, by the way. It's not just Mulos. Konobulos do know what they want. Whenever Malos do know what they want. That's why they've been walking this journey with us. Because you are told that Mulos is one of the poorest provinces. You and I must ask the question, how can the richest province, the province God gave everything, Mate, this grass, you see, these highlands, you see, and what we can do with it. And we'll talk about it shortly. But Takuri, we must delve into the issues of what we need to do and we're going to do for our Malos and this country together. How can the richest province in resource endowment and God's gift have the poorest people? There's something wrong. Please come on. Rich province, poor people. What is missing here is the quality, visionary, loving leadership, a serving leadership, which is not there now. That's why we walk this journey with our Malos, with the people of Zambia. And the journey is just continuing. Look at yesterday. Look, I was weeping inside. God made me different. My face, my just sight, everything is strong. But inside, I weep. Omiloli says, which is, I'm going to that. I think that's it. But that love is nothing other than us getting an opportunity to save them, to convert this resource endowment into opportunity, into food, into resources, cash, into education, into health, into jobs, into business support, to assist our people. This is a humbling thing for me. When I'm Salah. This is a humbling, feeling and experience that this love, this lilato, which when our Malos have for this child of theirs, Mujaha, Mulisana, right, must be converted into benefits for them in the manner I'm describing it. It's what is in this head. That's what this body physique does and thinks about every single day. Every single day. Every single day. Every single day. Kamsoma, Havana, Maroba, every single day. So, and we are going to do it together, deciding on priorities for development. Mabulos. We'll get that very soon. We should get to that. What difference do we bring to Banama Malos' future? Their livelihoods, the quality of life, which God grants to them by birth. And no one should take away from them. Akunamutu, not one, should take away that opportunity. Not this deception. Do not reverse. You're stealing from the people. You're even singing those songs.
Let's get right to it, Mr. Liseli. About 5 days, and Zambia decides. You're talking about green development, especially here in Western Province. You're talking about water. Let's get right to it. How are you going to use that so that the people of Western Province can benefit? You can elevate Western Province that you are saying, oh, let me just say that, which is one of the poorest provinces in the country at the moment. How are you going to elevate Western Province?
Let's get it clear. Msalak, the province is one of the richest. Let's get that analog clear. The people are impoverished because those who are in leadership are narilato to the people of Western Province who lost. That's the issue. Rich province, poor people. I've already described why the missing link is the liver, here and here. You have to connect these two, right? See what I've done here? This pen here is the vision of leadership I'm talking about. I insist on this so that when our Malos do not get carried away with the little pennies that some party is giving them. Mariamuche. Batu, those candidates, throw them away. Ambe mujitoka. Mali nova Malos gamulia, api ngenu mali, muntu soho. Mali Punza, yeah, Muntu solve, because they are not willing to provide this labor here. And we are willing to provide this labor. Let me come to the issue of race. But before I do that, I talked of a journey together with our Malos. That journey must be completed, will be completed on the 12th of August. How? By them turning out in large numbers to vote for change, to vote for the UPND and its alliance partners. Candidates throughout, councillor, Farizo, chairman, mayor, Farizo, MP, Farizo, president, Farizo. That's the journey. Then once we have now completed that journey, part of that journey, to form government, then we come to the question you've asked now. What are we going to do for the people of Ulos and the people of Zambia? Because this is critical. This is why a leader must be chosen. A group of leaders must be chosen. Is what they can do for the people, not for themselves. We must make a distinction. The mistake we've been making as a country, we've been putting some leaders that have not worked for themselves. Once you choose to work for the people, you should have worked for yourself, so that once you're in office for the public, you focus on serving the public, not yourself. Right? So here are the priorities under the UPND and its alliance partners. As we form them, as Banaba Manos, Mamu put us in office to serve them, not to be served, to unite them, not to divide them, to give them opportunity, not to take away opportunity. Here are the few parameters. Mark this program, record this program, and after we form government, God's will, courtesy of the people of Zambia, including Malos, mark this program, play it and see whether what we're saying is going to happen or not. But it will happen. One priority is to bring Zwelopili Mabulosi, is to bring Zwelopili Mwazambi. What is this Zwelopili for the people of Ulos? Now let's break it down. I'll give you an outline. Usalaka, if you want, you can now take each bit. There you say that is it. What do you mean? I will explain. Is that okay?
It is.
So here is the framework of what we wish to do for Wanamalas and Zambia in driving development. Bukomo, Lusumbuko. We're in touch. We have to get certain infrastructure projects done so that they become the backbone, they become the road, the platform upon which we can drive our agenda for Zwelopili. Key infrastructure. One is the Lusaka-Mongu road. Look at the state of this road. Look at the carnage on this road. Look at the dust people are sucking. So if we agree that Kono, wealth, Masilos, if we agree there's Bufumo, isn't it? We have to be able to tap into it. To do that, we need Kiros, Lusaka, Mongu Road will be in tip-top condition as part of our priorities. Which are the roads? Not what you see there, not that death trap you see. And the leader from Ulozi says, no, I am PF, I'm senior in PF, I'm this and that, and the road is like that. You should be ashamed. Huh? Mwasiro is ashamed is what? Uswaba. You should not even say anything to support this PF government that has failed to do one single critical infrastructure road. Lusaka Mongu Road. Kono, you are going preaching around campaigning. What are you campaigning about? You should be ashamed. The next tied to that road is the Katunda. After Kaoma, Mamo, Kaoma Katunda Turnoff Road into Lukund, Saraka, onto Watopa, and we'll fix a bridge there onto Mombeji that will connect this province to northwestern province and open up this beautiful farming land, be it for rice. We'll come to that. Let me not cross, let me not confuse you. Let me take you step by step. That road will be tight. It's been a cry for years. So, you've been cheated. Every time an election is near, graders come around that road. And after the election is over, the graders are gone. That's fooling. Masilo's fooling is what? So that road will be done. And the bridge. And we connect it. Critical. Critical. Absolutely critical. But we want also to open up the road into the farming blocks of Kaong. Tibize, Tikema, Kalumwange, and the other one to Lombero. Very important. And there's a reason we're saying that. These are priorities. Mutwe, Konona Zwakuli, Banawa Manos, you are listening to this program. And Mark, I'm saying record this program so you can judge us afterwards. What else do we want to do? We want to open the canals. I'm talking about infrastructure. We want to reopen critical canals because they're important for water transport as it used to be in the time of Great Lewanika. Our revered great Itunga Lewanika. He understood Zwelopini at that time. What a visionary man. He didn't just unite Bulosa. He also understood the importance of Zwelopini for your people. If you want to call yourself a leader, you got to focus on the benefits other people get from your leadership. Not what you take from them. What we see today is leadership. Taking, and not giving to the people. So the canal system, the priorities on which canals have to be done is very important. It's very important. Let me not belabor that point. For water transport, for fish farming, for livestock, cattle, right? Very important. And by the way, since I'm talking about cattle, the cordon, the CBPP cordon will come back. Do you know what I'm talking about? Kumon, that cordon? Maybe you're too young. That contained the diseases coming into Zambia from Angola. The great King Lewanika understood the importance of putting a cordon around Lukona there, right? So that the disease do not dissipate our cattle there. The power station in Sioma must be completed. That's infrastructure. Energy is important to support this industry. The solar system, infrastructure. Off-grid, on-grid. Meaning that the people in the rural areas, outlying areas of Bulosa, must be able to access power, cheap power. Borehole, solar power, tank, you can have flushing toilet, you can have tap water shower. Extend it to Sikong. It's only about 60 kilometers, 65 kilometers. How can Mulisana Munde and his government fail to turn 60 kilometers to allow us to export into that market, into Angola? What are we exporting there? Beef, rice. Simbangala. Was Simbangala? Simbangala there. And everything we can feed that area. Money. And this province begins to create jobs. This province begins to earn more money for its people. Right? So let me quickly end there. Infrastructure, a couple of other things that, because time does not allow us. You want to ask a question on this?
Before you move on to the other things, just there on infrastructure.
Yes.
You see, these are good promises for the people of Western Province.
Indeed.
Very good at speaking, but there's always been poor implementation of these things. The people of Western Province are listening to you right now, Mr. Hichilema.
Indeed.
How is it going to be different? Because these promises have always been there, but the people of Western Province are still crying. So why should they trust you that you are really going to do this? Is it just campaign messages?
I have been giving these messages for years, consistently. Never changed. The examples may change. The trust is the same. Consistency. First, the vision of what can be done. Very important. Very, very important. Then, the management capability. The management capability to put projects together is very important. Just around there. check who we are. Who is this Mulisa Nwamundi? Who is he? Where is he coming from? What has he done for himself? A guy who went to school, Zara, 3 years, no shoes. Just go back to that time. Go back to that time. What have we done? What projects have we done? Did we complete them or not? You will know that we've completed them. One of our projects is a star project. Whatever people say, is the Livingstone Hotel project. We changed Livingstone. We benefited Banoa Malos. A lot of them work there. We employ a lot of people there. It is just a tidbit of what we're able to do. From a project into an operating business and sustaining the business and employing people. Track record. Track record. That's what I'm talking about. Who are we challenging to say, are we the same as other politicians? No. We are cut from a different cloth. I wish I could say it in fluent laws. Can someone tell me what I've just said? We are cut from a different cloth. Those that you've been seeing before were cut from a cloth maybe which was a different color. But not color is important, content. Content, as Martin Luther King says, don't judge by the book by the cover, but the open inside, look at the content. That's the difference. Track record, consistency, honest, coupled with loving the people. Loving the people that you're serving. If you see how these roads are here, there's more like Akunali Lato from those who are leading us. But that will be different. Just mark my words. Remember, I said to you, record this program. I'm the one who encouraged you. You are listening. Record this program on your stations, on your phones. I'm talking of, whatever gadget you have. Record it and say, we're now HH, we're now Jaha. On that day, this is what you say. How are you doing on that? So I think we must be judged differently because we are different, because we are cultured differently, we are brought up differently, we've done different things. This is the first time a leader will be talking to you like this before they get into the office. And after we get into the office, we will come back and talk. Remember? That's what we were saying. Now go and check this project. Go and check this project. Go and check that program. You will come with me. When? Who will do? That's my answer. The question.
Thank you very much. Yeah. All this is possible through social accountability. That's what I think. And 90% of the country's vote is only being enjoyed by the 10% of the people in the country. So where does social accountability come with the United Party for National Development for all these projects to come into life?
Well, firstly, let me just understand what you mean by social accountability. I think I understand what you're trying to say. You are saying, one, governments must be held accountable. I agree. Total agree. We are together. Two, governments must broaden the benefits of Zwelo Bidding to Sichara. We agree. But these are agreeing together doesn't mean it to be done. How will we get it done? We have programs, we have plans, we have a vision, we have plans, we have programs and projects. This is how development happens. I'll just give you one example of a project. You want more personal examples? Come to our own farms. Just enter, have a look at one of the farms near here. You can go into Namala. Have a look at that farm. I can arrange a visit for you. Just see what we've done there, how things are arranged. Very orderly, very organized, very productive, very profitable. So we will have a system under the European Indian Alliance government to put in place, clear our vision. It's already there in our manifesto and the plans, but now they'll be enhanced with specific programs and projects. Then we'll do what we call monitoring and evaluation to be able to deliver development and to be accountable, to be able to spread the benefits to the people will include people involvement. Let me give you an example. I talked about canals, isn't it? As part of infrastructure. How do we do a canal as UPND and the land partners? We will work with the BRE. We work with the traditional leadership. BRE on top, the chiefs, Malenaka. We work with Silaro Endurance. We work with headmen. I'm a headman, by the way, in the village. So I understand what I'm talking about. Very much. We work with the people at the village level and leaders who are the community leaders, church leaders, new apostolic leaders, Roman Catholic, SDA, and other churches. You know, we don't discriminate on religion here in the UPND. The board of Christ is one. So, what am I driving at, Msala? It is to work with the local community to decide the priorities which canals should be done first. Which canals should be done first? Which canals should be done first? Right? It's the people to decide. That's the beginning of what you call social equity in the development process, in the process of development. People decide. The priorities, I don't want us to forget the other sectors. My lovely lady, right? So, on the canals, the first 10 canals across the province, they know. They go back to, one thing I love about Bros is the culture, is the heritage, is the knowledge, is the institutional arrangement here, Bros. This is the only population we have in this country, let's be fair, that have had institutions of governance back 200 years. Fact. True. Not Bohata. No, true. So we want to invoke those systems. We want to revive those systems and remind young people like you that Buros used to be well when it was governed properly. And it will be governed properly. So involvement of the people, your social issues you touched on, right? We will also agree with them. These are the first 10 canals. What do they cost? How best do we work on them? When we work on them, when we now put them as a program, as a project, those who understand project management know what I'm saying. Our vision, our plan, our programs, our projects, then we go to specifics. They understand what I'm talking about. When we are now reaching a point of implementation, executing those projects, those canals, 10 canals, just an example. Don't hold me wrong and say, HH said you only do 10 canals. I'm saying the top 10 priorities of canals. We will be using local people in not just decision making on which are these 10 canals, but in providing skills, labor. Then they'll earn money. Then social equity starts from there. Listeners, I hope you are listening, you're following. Then it means the money for the canals construction, those 10, will be allocated with the people involvement. The labor, the skills will come from here. Only skills that cannot be provided by the people here will come from outside of those locations where the 10 canals are. Remember, canal is a road, it's a system, it's a process. It will cut over different geographical areas. The people along the way will get involved and they'll get money from that small micro level. Very important. Any other projects we do will take the same thing. That's your force. The construction process must involve labor from here. Already we begin to uplift the income levels of the people. When we decide on other things I'll talk about, fish, Likomo, I love Likomo because it does a lot. Food, milk, food, beef, money, marshalling, a lot of it. We want our people here to earn as much as I earn myself on one animal. And our mallows, they will keep a steer for 5 years. When they sell it, they make 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I will keep a steer for 1.5 years. When I sell it, I make 10,000. One still. That's what we want to bring. Yeah.
Mr. Hitler, let's quickly move on to the other things that we want to do for the people of Zambia and Western Province. Let's quickly move to the education sector. You have talked about the infrastructure. What do you have? What's the hope for the people of Western Province when it comes to education? Because it is there in Western Province that for someone to go and get an education, tertiary education, they need to travel out of the province. Because in Western Province, those facilities are not there. So what do you have, what's your plan when it comes to education in Western Province?
I love your questions. Let's now run through these sectors. Education is critical. Education is the best investment a child can get from a family or society. And I hope you know the underlying reason I've said the family or society. Because a child who is an orphan, single or double, is a child of society, and society must take them to school. That's what UP and DLS Alliance Partners will do. So education is the best investment for any child. That's all I got. I didn't inherit my principle as an individual. I will not inherit anything from anyone. I got that principle as a child, given the tough life we went through. And I said, I'll make it on my own, or fail on my own. I don't blame anybody. I want to give, because I was given an opportunity to go to school. The rest is history. When you hear HH does this, does that, it's because only one asset I got was school. So we are indebted to one of our mothers, whether from a family, rich family, poor family, orphan, for them to go to school. So they can walk the path I walked, and even better. You hear that? You with me? You understand what I mean? That's the first asset. First inheritance. The rest falls in place. Because even if you inherit something, Musala, and you have no understanding how to manage it, it will go. So you still need the education. To work for yourself, to work in a company, business, to do business yourself, you need education. So critical. Therefore, we will support education for all. Moderator, listeners, I hope you are listening. Education for all. It doesn't matter your family background. It doesn't matter who your father is, who your mother is. It doesn't matter whether you are Makoma, whether you are Kongwa, whether you are, Sumia. Huh? If I greet in Kongwa, very few roses will answer me here. Namu Mukakuno. Maybe because I'm in Mongu, so just indeed, for everyone, no discrimination, nothing. And one of our critical issues here as a government agenda is to reunite laws. I see polarization, most of it driven by politicians who are greedy to divide laws. Hear it from me. We will reunite laws. I'm not the Ritunga. Ritunga is there. But working with the BRI, working with the Ritunga, working with the UP and the Alliance government, we will reunite laws. Very critical. Then we can focus on developing issues. So back to education. Education for all. Policy, isn't it? Education for all. Then we'll walk through how do we do. From tertiary, infrastructure improvement. How can Bana Malozi be in a classroom 50 plus years, 55 years plus after independence? You go in Dandale, you go in Usha, you go in Nangula, right? You go in Sishekanu, where Marukena. That's the distance, that's the direction. Lukena this side. As I told you, that's the Ziblos. How can children still go to school in a grass side walls, if we can call them walls, today? Has there been leadership in this country? I have a different opinion. Infrastructure at the kindergarten level, primary level, secondary level. Infrastructure is broad. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste listeners' time. So, is the actual building, as we proved, there must be water. Remember I was talking about walls, we want to make sure that the solar system in schools. A borehole, a tank, solar pump, piped water is the bare minimum. How can we fail to do that? One of the things we're going to do is to cut the corruption in government to be able to do that. I'll give you just one example. When I do a borehole on my farm, I pay 15,000 kwacha for a borehole. What does government pay today because of corruption? 50,000 kwacha for the same borehole. We bring the borehole cost to what it truly is. Then we can do more boreholes. I'm talking of infrastructure, desks, exercise books, textbooks, internet. When we were flying yesterday over Burundi, we were discussing on the plane, how do we accelerate internet access to all these rural areas? We have an answer for it. And you'll be very impressed, you'll be very happy. What stops us from using satellite to provide internet? And if we have a solar power, at a remote place in Sishekan, was not Sishekan, when Agakande, was it there, beautiful place, after the one Sishekan, as you get to the corner, on the way to the corner. So that's what we're going to do. So kindergarten, primary, secondary, colleges, university. I'm sure that's what you wanted me to say. You were waiting for that. Hang on. You have been cheated about a government university, Mwabulos. Where is it? I want to be challenged today. Where is the university you were cheated about? A government public university like other provinces. Where is it? You are just one of the few. Bulozi, Northwestern has no government university. Bulozi has no government university after being cheated. Southern province has no government university. All these related provinces, they have none. I think Eastern has none. But some provinces have 2, 3, just 100 kilometers apart. You remember you talked about social equity. Does that reflect social equity? I don't know. I can't. Yeah, we will deal with that. The university here is coming. When I'm Malos, I'm announcing here that the university is coming. Not in our second term, in our first term. I'm talking of putting it up, operationalizing. I've already given an example of our ability to put projects very quickly together and get them operational, employ people. People don't have to travel. Then you must travel to another province because you want to. Not because you have to. Two are different. Because you want to, you will travel and go to school there. But you don't have to, because there will be education up to university level here. So, stop being cheated every time there's an election. Mamukolo, Kono, where is your share? Mamukolo, Kuna University, which you are promising. Kuna Stadium. Wait, don't be shy. I know you're scared. Don't be scared. This is your country. This is one of the things we want to do, is to liberate people's minds. No one should be feared to say the truth. No one should fear to say the truth. No one. And that's the freedom we'll give you. Right? Where's the stadium? Am I right? There was talk of a stadium here, stadium, university. Hakuna. Not even one. So where is the relato there? That these leaders, lovers, Konowaya, Mana Amarozi, Mamukolo, Mukolo was coming. Where na. Vote wisely. Only next week, to deliver yourself in university, to deliver yourself those canals and the things we talk about. Allow me to move quickly to other sectors, just touching them. Do you want to do that, or do you want
Before
to
you touch on the other one very quickly, just there on education, you're talking about internet, desk, and all those things. Currently, we have thousands of teachers, trained teachers, that are not employed. How are you going to address that issue if you are voted into power next week?
Beautiful question. Teachers out there. Did I say it correctly? I want to say that she has a brain. Unaninga. Unaninga. Yeah, very good. We have a place for you in the government, in the UPND. She's shy because she's scared. that they may fire her from her job, and that we must bring to an end. Naninga. All the teachers that have not been employed, I'm putting it straight here, because of our education policy for all, it means more schools, improved capacity in schools, more teachers. So all of you teachers out there who have been trained and are not employed, start preparing to be allocated schools to go to. Is that a good answer?
Fair enough. You can quickly move on to the other departments that are in your manifesto. Earlier I said that very good presentations, I would say promises to the people, but very poor implementation. Let's move to the agriculture
So you are insisting.
You say Western Province is very rich. It's one of the richest provinces, but it's
I believe in
lack of leadership. How are you going to improve the agriculture sector in the province? We've talked about Zimbanga, and Zimbanga is Singatamu. Can you look to such one really, but when I was Zimbanga, more people say that Zimbanga, so we are going to improve economy.
She's a sharp girl. Right. Now, let me conclude on education. Education for infrastructure from lower level to the university. Done. That's the infrastructure. You can't have an infrastructure without pupils. So the students will be supported. I already started from there. Scholarships, bursaries. I'm sure you are aware that Liwanika had a bursary system here. Way back, the brightest, when our malos went even into London, on Liwanika's scholarship scheme. I'm not as sharp as you are, but you walk the steps of the great Liwanika. That the students, poor, rich, will have access to education, all of them. Part of what we do is a government bursary system to give students the bursaries to those who need it. Hakainde's children and his grandchildren cannot queue for a bursary. Why? God has been kind to us. We can take care of them. We will leave space for the children of Nyango, Makoma, there, Makala, to access that. I'm making a clear point here. Infrastructure is one. Musalaga. The pupils, the students must be aided. That's what I'm saying. Number three, the teachers. Because you can't have education without infrastructure, without students, without teachers. So all the teachers just campaign there. Campaign, be the foot soldiers for change for UPND. You will be employed. Including teachers who have been fired for supporting another party. Like ours, victims of retirement in so-called national interest. You are just on leave. You're going back to your offices very soon. Do your part, campaign, vote, protect the vote, then you go back to your jobs. Another thing I want to touch which affects public sector workers. Today, you get transferred as a husband from Mongu, you're a teacher. You leave your wife who is a nurse here in Mongu. You get transferred to Chipati, breaking families apart. That will come to an end. Families will be kept together. Teachers, male, female, doctors, other professions. Where you are is where your partner will be. So you can raise your children. Very important. Extremely important. So now we move to agriculture. Here are our priorities in agriculture. Chikote. You have a very good combination. Kumoyo, I can tell. I can tell the name Chikote. I can also tell the name. Peter Usilozi, Peter Munda, or whatever, beautiful. I may be wrong, but beautiful. This is what we want to make this country to be. So, here are our priorities in agriculture. This province is rich. Come on. First, we want to lower the cost of production. Across sectors, cost of business, cost of production is too high. To start with, on farming, we will reduce the cost of fertilizer. The cost of fertilizer, Masilo's fertilizer, monomer. The cost of monomer is too high. I don't know the price here, per bag, 800 kwacha. We want to lower the cost of farming before we go to specifics, so that it is easier, it is affordable to farm. I'm a farmer. Not the corn farmer only, but the crop farmer. So I understand what I'm talking about. Those others you are saying are very poor in implementation. They understand nothing. They only know how to eat. They don't understand how the food is produced. So this is an advantage we have. So lower the cost of production. In the economy, in industries, agriculture in particular. The first one, which is a major cost, is monopoly. Bring down the price from 800 kwacha per bag to 250 kwacha per bag, maximum 300. We've done our numbers already. The difference is in the cost of fertilizer is corruption. We'll have a zero tolerance to corruption ourselves. Zero tolerance to corruption. Zero, no corruption. That saving will allow us to bring the cost of fertilizer down. The transportation efficiencies, no double transportation, will allow us to bring the cost down, and many other things that we're going to do in agriculture. So that's the first thing we're going to do in agriculture here. And you cannot just apply fertilizer. What else are we going to do? Make plows accessible, because there's Likomo here. Make plows accessible, farming implements. What else? Make Likomo survive the diseases. Remember we talked about the cordon area. It's all agriculture. So we put that cordon to protect the animals here from dying. We improve the genetics. I told you that the 1.5 steer, for me, I want to distinguish my silos. A male animal, we call it what? Poho is a poho. Pulwana. Very good. Pulwana. A male animal, 1.5 years, for me, from our ranches, gives me 10,000 questions. We want to. Why does that happen? One is genetic improvements. I don't want to go to too much detail. Genetic, quality, breed. And the farmers in Mongu know, some of them bought breeds from me before. They know what I'm talking about. Wazira. So we want to bring those breeds here. And then, since we have the water and grass, then it's the management. So genetics, the management, vaccinations, treatment, all of those issues. So we can improve that side of agriculture, livestock. So we can feed this country. We can feed Zambia with beef from the Barros Plains. Barros Plains can export beef. So we'll work on that. Right? Dipping must come here. I don't know why you people don't dip your animals and the sea. Right? So we want to do that. Matagala. We want to do that. When? You're in Mulisa now. But we can do it better. We can do it better. So we do that. But that supports the crop farming. That's where I'm going. The cattle supports the crop farming. We do the disease control, improved management, genetics, everything is there. Then we can use our oxen to plow. And the plows will be cheaper because we take out the corruption and too much tax on implements. So it's affordable. Then now we can produce our rice more. Produce more rice, improve the varieties of rice so that the quality for domestic consumption improves, the quality for export. There, you see where my eyes are looking at. There. Very near. For you think it's Bawle. For me, it's very near. It's next door. Our rice. Processed here, after farming it, which is value addition, processed here, polished, thrashed, polished, packaged, jobs here. From here, priced. We call it because I understand. Right? Let me touch on this very quickly. Fish farming. Remember we talked about canals earlier? We want to bring proper fish farming here. Because it's already a culture people know. So we want to commercialize it. Bring fish farming, fish ponds along our waterways, along our canal, along this asset God gave us. Yesterday I asked somebody, we were on the plane together, I said, do you know the value of the Barros Plains? Just management, control, taking away corruption, not stealing money, right? So we want to get liquidity, money, Mashele, out of this billion worth asset called Barros Plains and Polos. And we'll do agriculture is one easy way. So fish farming, together we restock the natural bodies, yes. For some people, they want to continue fishing out there, in Wanginga, in Zambian, Jambai, everywhere, but we want to give them an option to farm fish and control what they produce. Fish, Mzalaka, you started 25 meter by 50 meter fish pond. It only cost you, we've done the numbers, about 45,000 kwacha plus fingerlings. You harvest in 4 months. 4 months. And after the first harvest, you've repaid the capital. That capital, that grant, that loans will give it to the youth of Ulos, male and female, to start a fish pond and the market. Remember what I said about rice? We do the same for fish. What do I mean the same? We put a buying capacity here to buy the fish at a good price, pay them on time, as we do for rice farmers, then as we do for the cattle farmers, and process, clean the fish here, process it, pack it here, put it on the shelf, straight from here. I don't want trucks from here. Having done the Lusaka Mongu Road, I don't want the trucks carrying dry fish, raw fish, and then with bonds, we will debond here, right here, so that the jobs are kept here as processing, value addition. Very important. I will conclude now. Simbangara is being messed up. The project to do Simbangara is a joke, a big joke. We will make it better. Tanzania, Uzala, earns over $1 billion from Simbangara every year. We will improve that. We again talked about it along the way as we were flying here, that we are going to give the project, because it's the money that will go into communities. The upland, you see, you can do more fish farming down on the plains and near the plains, along the river, upland, Simbangara, upland, right? Maize, Kaoma, then. All of those will be put together as part of the agricultural potential. I haven't talked about mangoes. It's obvious. I've talked about many times. I haven't talked about so many things that we do in agriculture. But raw production, lower the cost, increase production, process here, sell into the country. First, people must eat, improve the diet here.
Just on that, Mr. Chinabu, you're saying that people must eat.
Yes.
Currently, according to JCT, a family of 5 people.
Yeah.
For them to afford 3 basic meals, about 8,300, and it has been rising. How are you going to ensure that the people of Western Province, people are not able to have breakfast, lunch, supper? Because it's about 8,300 just for a family of 5 to have those meals. And you're talking about improving the cost of living.
Indeed.
How are you going, what's the strategy that you're going to use so that the people of Western Province are able to enjoy all these meals?
First, like I said about education, our headline policy in agriculture is that there must be food for all. Education for all, food for all. Sounds just a statement, isn't it? But I've already broken it down from what I said to you just a few minutes ago. That's part of our road towards providing food for all. Is that right? Food for all. Now, we want food for all, we must make food available. Number 1. We must make food affordable. Number 2, so that people can have 3 decent meals a day. And to do that, we produce more by lowering the cost of production. I've already talked about it. And livestock, which supports crop farming, right? It's food itself. It also supports crop farming. We deal with all of those. I've touched on that. And I'm talking about what I do myself. I already have invited you. Don't forget, make a note in your notebook. I'll take you to the ranch nearby here, in Namara, close to the station. You ever looked at it? We preach what we do. And we want the people of Zambia to do the same. They can be better farmers than HH. I know that. And we'll make them better farmers than HH. So it starts from there by making production of food affordable, in large quantities affordable. Then we can say food for all. When people ask for bread under this government, what has been the response of the government? When they say people, bread is now 20 kwacha. And it's even, what is the price of bread here? 20 kwacha. When it was 1 to 2 kwacha, not long ago, It was only 1 kwacha. No long ago. This government comes along, 2011, whacks the prices of goods and services, especially cost of living, bread from 1 kwacha, 2 kwacha to 20 kwacha. When people complain, remember I talked about Lilato earlier? Forgive my losses. Sometimes I'll say words that you may feel, what is he saying? This is why you should teach me laws, more laws, that I'm teaching myself. People complain that the cost of food is too high. I don't know about Baramalos, Lusaka, Koba, but people complain. And what was the response of this government? The government in office, the one we are removing on Thursday, next week, through the ballot. They said, no. If bread is expensive, you must eat candolo. Come on. What a response. That's an insult. We will make food choices for you. You make your choice. You want candolo? It will be affordable. By the way, we have candolo capacity and ability to produce the upland. When you go Makawoma, all these areas. You go to my village in Mulubezi. I have a village in Mulubezi. Yes, I am. Right? But I'm talking about the response of an irresponsible government, one which has no relato for the people. I hope I've used the word correctly. The response was that, don't complain about bread, eat candolo. Now, me, I grew up with candolo. If you eat too much of it clogs your throat here. Especially if you can't afford milk, you can't afford the liquid. It clogs your throat. What an insult. But we will make food available, affordable. The choice is yours. That is the question you ask. And I'm explaining. I've already explained. But we also not just make the raw food available, we make the food to be raw material and processed. Now, what I've said here tomorrow means that the farmers will produce more, they will sell, there will be a market, they will be paid a good price, and they will be paid on time. I hope you follow, and the listeners are following. Clear distinction. Because today you sell your crop to the government, FRI, you don't get paid for a year. Now you'll be paid on time. What does that mean? Remember, back to your question. 3 meals a day, affordability, income, money, equity. It means the farmer earn money. It means the one who is in Kaplanga there, here Mamo, the one who is in just here in the palace area here, right? Can afford the food. But more important, they can work in a factory to process the food. They get a job, they get a salary, a decent salary, and it means they have money now. So it's a connection. This is why you should vote for us next week. It's a connection. And all of these questions you ask, they appear like one question. They are all connected. And that's the vision we have as a team. Right? They're connected. And that's how we are going to make it possible to answer the questions you are asking to help people. That is the way it is. That's what is going to happen. I hope I've answered your question. You're not satisfied?
Mr. Hitchcock, time seems not to be on our side, but even as we head to our conclusion, Western Province, and in just a few days, in 5 days' time, Zambia decides, like I've said earlier, what hope can you give a person in Alipanda listening to you right now, the people who are watching to you right now, that you are going to bring this development and you are going to get Zambia, because Zambia is in a lot of debt. We cannot run away from that.
Yeah.
What hope are you going to give to that Zambian, to that mother who's listening to you right now, that you are the hope that Zambia needs?
Very good. I think from this conversation, where we are coming from, Musalaka, Kandero, Chikote, Umoya, we've shown that we have the vision, we have the plans, number 2. So vision number 1, you can't have plans without the vision, because the plans are drawn out of the vision, how you see the future, how you see life for people. So we have the vision, as a team. And as a team leader, you must have vision yourself. Otherwise, where will you lead people to? Mohammed, Mariambai, you just drown people there as what is happening. People are being drowned by the poor leadership now, non-vision leadership. So with the vision, with the plans, with the programs, with the projects. Now, with the capacity to manage. Oh, very important. Very important. That's a distinguishing factor. We have the capacity to manage, to monitor, and to control. Meaning, we're doing a project is not working well, we quickly put it in line. Correct. And then redirect it. Very important. That's the distinction. I mean, I know what you feel. I know what the people feel. Because they've been having people sitting, talking to them like this, and they do nothing. But this is what you get from the Don Kubeva people when you put them there. So now you are voting for substance, you are voting for the laptop, you are voting for service, servant leadership, you are voting for serious, committed people with no corruption. All of these things, as I said, are connected. You will see delivery. I would like you to interview this Munisana after a year from now, after 2 years from now. I want you to sit right here. And you say, that day we talked about this. How is this? How is that? You will see the difference yourself. The people will see it. One of the things that they will see immediately is that we'll bring back law and order. No hooligans around beating people in the market in the name of PF thugs. I call them thugs. They're not even human beings. They're just like monsters from another world. Don't be scared, right? Don't be scared. I see you get itchy if I talk of here. That is true. People are being beaten everywhere. In Lusaka.
Just on that one, actually, I would like to hear from you, Mr. Ichilema, how you are going to restore the rule of law.
We will provide, first the law is there. The rule of law, you call it rule of law because there's a law, isn't it? There's a law. The laws are there, starting with the Constitution. Starting with the Constitution and the secondary laws, including electoral laws, will strengthen them. It is a breakdown in the rule of law, not to register those multitudes in Kaoma, in Kalabo, and in Mongu deliberately. This PF government chose not to register these people to vote, to disenfranchise them, because they didn't want them to participate in the choice of their leaders, including the president. That is a breakdown in the rule of law. Everybody eligible to vote will be allowed to register under the European government. I'm just giving one example. So I'm saying respecting the laws, starting with the Constitution. You will see that from us. Because you're asking how. Respect for the laws, Constitution, other laws. I've just given an example of how many Malos, but now Malos were disenfranchised by an irresponsible, law-breaking government called the PF. Clear. What else are we going to do? We'll be fair. If you want to restore the rule of order, be fair. Don't treat UPND members and their alliances differently. Beat them up, arrest them. You are in. You are Chinga. You are in. You are out. You are Matakala. You are in and out of the police. You are Mbangu. You are in and out. You are Musangu. You are Mufalo. No, you are Minja. What's my man? Huh? Yes. You are Likando. You are in and out of the cells. Even women who have committed no crime. Why? Only because they're UPND and UPND alliance members. Right? You stop people from campaigning. That's a breakdown in the rule of law. Why am I here today? I should have been here earlier. I was blocked, I said at the beginning of this interview. I was being tear-gassed in Nakonde. I was arrested at Chipata Airport for 3 hours. That's a breakdown in the rule of law. By who? By the government, which is supposed to protect the rule of law. That will come to an end. No one will be blocked. People enjoy their human rights, liberties and freedoms. Freedom of movement, freedom of speech. You, the media, you will not be threatened. We are committed to doing all of this, to restore the rule of law and order normalcy in the country. You should be able to walk from Kaplanga there to harbor there in the evening. It used to be like that. You can walk, right? Mandanga, right? You can go to the palace if you want. You walk to the palace. It's near. It's walkable there. If you want. You can walk to my beloved. Salah, hear me. To my beloved. They are really there. It's a walking distance. Today, if you walk there, you're wearing a UPND t-shirt, these PF thugs can kill you just for wearing a UPND t-shirt. You cannot do that. You cannot have a government that will come to an end. That also, I want you to connect, Musala. I want you to connect the restoration of the rule of law to economic development, to well-being. Very important, very connected. Because people must walk from a bakery. If they're in the night shift, they can walk from a bakery to their home feeling safe. They can walk from the abattoir, right? To wherever they go, feeling safe. And the police, that's another issue you asked. I'm answering, you didn't refer to it. The police will act professionally. Professionally. They will not see the difference between a person from UPND Alliance or from PF or from another party. They will see citizens of Zambia under this government, our new government. That's why people must vote for us. Even the police are abused by cadres. That will end. You remember? A PF cadre walked into the largest police station in Lusaka called Lusaka Central Police Station and beat up policemen. How? How did that happen? Well, are they in jail? No. So the law will apply equitably. Because you're asking how we do it. Ultimately, we will provide political will. Coin has two sides. Political will this side. On this side, leadership. Leadership. There's no leadership now in this country. That's why there's a breakdown in the rule of law. There's no leadership. Under the leadership of the late President Manawasa, there was a rule of law. There was order because there was a leader. You will see that under our leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ichileva. As we conclude, next week Thursday, how are you going to protect your votes and what's your message to the people of Western Province?
Kumoyo, Alekandero, just allow me to touch on sectors we didn't. Just to touch, right? So we talked of infrastructure, electricity a little bit, Sioma, solar, off-grid to better the lives of people. Clean water because of solar and others. Right? University, education, we talked about it. A lot more we can talk. I didn't even say things that I needed to say. We'll improve the conditions of service for teachers. Right? For doctors, health workers. We didn't touch on health. All of that is, what I said about education is similar to what I would have said on health, on infrastructure, on health workers being looked after, all nurses, all doctors who are not employed. Like I talked to teachers, you will be employed very soon. Just campaign and vote for the UPND Alliance. So health, I didn't touch that. There will be medicines, not expired medicines. I expect a smile from your face to encourage me. Right? Today you go to hospital, there are no medicines. There are not enough doctors. That will change. Medicines will be there. You won't be given a prescription. You'll be given medicine in a hospital. Right? It will be there. And safe medicine with efficacy, not expired, killing people. Now, jobs I touched a little bit. On agriculture, and education, health, there will be jobs in there. Processing, agro-processing, value addition, simbangala, rice, all of that. Angos, why shouldn't we make mango juice here, another fruit juice here? We'll do that. Jobs will come along. Very, very important for the young people. Which are very important. So, jobs will come at different levels, including giving our youth support, soft loans to start their business, fish farming. Marketeers. PF are scaremongering marketeers that you pay their DH to chase you from the market. How can I chase the people I love? The people I want to have a better income. We will not chase them, we'll give them soft loans, low interest rates to grow their business. In the market, taxi ranks, taxi drivers, bus drivers, truck drivers. Finish. Right? We are going to change the laws. The procurement of goods and services, contracts will go to Zambians and Zambian companies. That's priority number one. Motile. Which means truck owners, Magulos here and Mazambia, they'll be given contract to move goods, to move rice, to move copper, to move all of this. Prepare your trucks. If your truck is, the tires are punctured, start mending your tires now. And your trucks will be in business. Income, money, machinery, money, plus employment, business. That's all come together. One side is a job, formal job, another side is business opportunities. For the youth, for the women, for retirees. We want to pay them their money. Outstanding retirees will be paid. This social cash transfer, they are scaring you that no, UPND government will remove the social cash transfer. Right? We will actually make it better. In how many? One, accessibility. There will be no segregation. The clarity will be very much there that this group qualifies for social cash transfer. They will get it. Number one. Number two, the quantities, the amounts, the money will increase because what they are getting is nothing. It even costs more to access it. Now because we talk to the internet, we're going to use mobile money as much as possible. But increase the amount to look after the weak, the old in society. As I said, retirees will be paid on time. They can use the money. I also said before, I want to repeat here. Pensions will be available for the pension, not even the pensioners. Before you retire, your pension contribution, you'll be able to access in the middle, like NAPSA, so that you can have that money while you're alive and invest it. And we'll support you in where to invest it. As you choose. It's farming, Simbangara farming, you want to do Rikomo, you want to do a business in the market, and the markets will be improved, by the way. There must be water in the market. MP for Mongu. You want to be a friend of HH as a member of parliament for Mongu? You and I have to work on the markets to make sure that the market stores are accessible to our people and they are decent, there's water, messy, there are decent toilets, sanitation. That's the best way you become a friend of HH. And the Mufalal, and the Milupi, and all my good friends here. We don't want MPs that go there to look after themselves. You look after the people, serve the people. We're going in to serve the people. Talk with due respect. Social cash transfer will be enhanced. Markets will be improved. Trading spaces, trading places, decent, clean, no diseases in there. The largest market here is the station market. You will see changes there. You will see changes for the better, very quickly. You will see changes there and elsewhere. This is basic. Again, back to livelihoods, quality of life, back to social equity, because that's where most of our people are, in the taxi ranks, right? So I just wanted to touch on these things. I mean, something else I want to be clear here. We do a project in any part of Zambia. The labor, primarily the labor will come from the local areas.
Yes.
And to export labor from somewhere else, and the local people are denied the opportunity. I would be using a lousy word. I don't want to use it because I'm a Moya. I don't want to be misunderstood. But that is a little bit of foolishness. That shows arrogance. When the schools are here, district commissioners, Maburos, by and large must come from Bulozi. Right? It sickens me. to see how there's so much lack of order. Because the local people are placed there by God. And when there's Mezi, when there's Luanginga, when there's Yambai, when there's minerals here, I forgot to say that. Now you see how my brain works. The mineral rights, the license for mines, I will tell you what has happened now. The licenses in Mulobesi there, you are seated here by Namamalos. All the licenses have been given to foreigners and people from different parts of Ulos. All the licenses. In case you don't know, there's diamond here. I'm telling you now. The technology is able to tell us, sitting in Canada, technicians are able to tell us that there's diamond there. It's easy. The licenses for natural resource endowment will go to Zambians and first to the local people in that area, like here. Then they can, if they have no money, they can partner with other Zambians. They can partner with anyone else with capital, but they will have a share. Those are jobs. Those are businesses. That's cash in a rich province. This is very important. This is why they should vote for us. That vision, that understanding. Timber. Look at this beautiful rosewood. This is rosewood, isn't it? My one. Look at it. Thank you very much. Because that's how you attach value, vision to things. Sometimes it's intellectual, other times it's eyes, other times it's ears. You hear, you see, you visualize, depending on your talent. Look at this beautiful. We should produce it now. All school desks will no longer be imported when we form government. They'll be produced from our timber. And the timber licenses, rosewood, mukwa, whatever, will go to local people.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Let me just finish now. 1 minute. Let me finish now. Nurses' uniforms, police uniforms. Police uniforms. They'll be made here, in this country. And those are jobs. Those are business owners. Kimashele. I'm a businessman. We want to bring that art into running this country to benefit the people. And that's why people must vote for us. Councillor, we need a suit. Councillor Falizoho, Banabayesu, Mamubari Ambai, Councillor Falizoho, Chairman of the Council Falizoho Fela, Mayor Falizoho Fela. Of course, President Falizoho. Suit. Then we can implement these programs. MP, eh? I miss MP.
Yes.
Falizoho. I'm okay now, kill me. I mean, I'm cheating. He will kill me. Look at his eyes. Eh? He will kill me. So Councillor, Falizoho. Chairman, Falizoho. Mayor, Falizoho. MP, Falizoho. President,
Go back to my question as we conclude to say, how are you going to get Zambia out of this debt and how you are going to protect
this is why you are clever.
votes?
This is why you're clever. Give me that word in us again. That she's clever. Unaninga. I'm telling you something. All right. So let me use English. This is a talent that we want to utilize, like her, when we form government. This is a talent. I'm not joking. I'm serious. This is a talent to follow up things, to have a functional mind. Thank you very much. Debt is choking us. When President Manawasa was in office, he reduced the debt to just under $1 billion. Am I right? 500. Half a billion dollars only. A leader, a true leader was there. He took us out of debt. Remember him? Highly indebted poor countries initiatives. You remember?
Yes.
You were trained in this area. President Manawasa, may his soul rest in peace, brought down that debt from, I think, around 8 billion. Around 8 billion. Down to $500 million. Debt free. There comes a group of people who brings a debt in 10 years. They brought us to a debt mountain of $20 billion. The economy is only $28 billion. 27 plus. Let's call it $28 billion. Within a short time. That's what putting bad leadership means. But otherwise, if you go out to vote, on Thursday. Remember that we are in this poor state, we are hungry, we have no jobs, we are being beaten by thugs because of choosing a wrong leadership. You have a chance to redeem yourselves. And the debt mountain here. 20 billion from $500 billion. Greed, corruption is what has taken us there. Contracts for roads, a road that should cost just about maybe half a million per kilometer. Maximum, $500,000. I love numbers. That's why I love this man, we love numbers. Numbers don't lie, right? Numbers will deliver for you. Now it's over 2 million, 3 million to do one road. So that money, we have to recover that which has gone to debt. How are we going to dismantle the debt mountain? To release money for development, for European, is we're going to have a debt approach which is different, starting from one, with an agenda to wipe down the debt. To wipe down the debt. That's the English, eh? This is what I'm speaking. Wipe down the debt from the billions that they've acquired. We're going to do a number of things. One, immediately we'll put a moratorium on borrowing, meaning no more borrowing. Two, we want to focus on domestic resource mobilization. We talked about the economy overall, the things we're able to talk about today. Three, when we access funds, we'll invest those funds in revenue generation, in investment, not in consumption. Eating, once it was good, kucha. Some people just know kucha. They don't know how to produce, how to sell, how to invest, how to create jobs. Kucha fela. Yeah. That's not leadership. That's destructive personalities masquerading as leaders. This is what we have now. Masqueraders. So that leadership part that we bring in discipline, order, focusing on investment expenditure, not consumption, will bring the debt down. Now, we'll also grow the economy and create jobs in South Africa. Intelligent interview. I'm glad you're interviewing me today. I found talent. I'm very glad. But you know the only because it's littered, and Zambia is littered with talent. Right? And we're going to tap into that talent. So, now, but to dismantle the existing debt, we are going to restructure the debt. We're going to restructure the debt. Right? We'll restructure the debt. How? First, we've already talked to lenders. We've started already. It's good you've asked this question. We want to make sure that the quantity of debt is definitive. Because right now we are not even sure. Even the government is not even sure how much debt is there. So we want to make sure that it's put in place, debt which is acquired, no more debt acquisition. Then we are also going to ensure that the debt in the pipeline, those that have not concluded, we review all of those. Remember, there's supposed to be parliamentary oversight, but they've been borrowing without parliamentary oversight. We're going to restore that discipline back. Then we'll now look at the numbers. We'll do a combination of restructuring, replacing expensive debt with affordable debt. Not affordable debt, buying expensive debt using cheaper debt, which means instead of paying interest of 10, 12% for the money borrowed, we'll replace that expensive debt with debt that funding. I don't want to be misunderstood. With funding that we acquire, which is a combination of two. One, grant. You ask me, are we going to get a grant as we pay? Yes. Why? Credibility. Credibility of leadership. Seriousness. Prudence. Then, cheaper source of funding. So we replace the expensive debt in billions at 12% with debt at 4%. We save a lot of money. We save a lot of money. A lot of money. And the debt interest payment will come down from $1 billion plus per year to around $250, $300 million. So it means we'll save $700 million in just debt service. Just savings. Hey, when I'm salary. That's business now. And that's what we love to do most. You've just delayed us. Zambians have just delayed themselves by not putting us in office in good time. They will actually be happy very soon. So, and from there on, we'll focus on our own economy, and the support we get will be much better. That's why I've said, if I want to repeat, right here, Mongu, in our capital here, capital of Bulos, my capital, your capital. We are sworn in at 10 hours because of these programs. By 14 hours, the Kwacha appreciates. I want to repeat that. The people have been making that argument, right? They don't understand. Even a presidential candidate, I heard him on television saying HH was lying. I just smiled. I said, you don't understand. Why does that happen? It is these things we've discussed today. The financial world, the investors will now react that there's a good leadership coming up. Then we can invest. They will bring more money. The money doesn't come immediately, but the decision to make the money will come from this sentiment, and the Kwacha appreciates. That's how it works. I have studied this area. This is my expertise. It works. Please tell those doubting Thomases that you are ignorant. And stop arguing with people who understand what they're saying.
Your last words to the people of Western Province, quickly.
Malozi, like the people say. Namila Tahu, Luli, Shang. We do what we do. We've gone through this pain, detentions, that treason road. All of that means nothing to me. That pain means nothing to me. What is important is to see your lives better. That's what keeps us going. Let's have a partnership. We love you. I believe Mamulata is Hakaini. Mamulata. Why? Two groups of people love each other. We must do the right things to make their lives better. They must do three things from today. One, go out and campaign. I'm your campaigner. Village to village, house to house. You are the campaign managers. Two, on the 12th of August, Muovota and Amalos. Muovota. All of you, the turnout is low here. Let's change it. You want a new government? You must vote. Number three, protect your vote. People are saying, let HH protect his vote. I'm only one soul. I'm only one, Mulisana. But you are the HHs here. You are the change agents here. Protect your vote. Michaha, after voting, akunakuya kwa mama gwaini. Akuna, stay around the polling station. Pop out, not your 2 eyes, but 4 eyes. Let your 4 eyes be looking. Who is going to steal our vote? Do not allow anyone to steal your vote. Then if you allow anyone to steal your vote, you are denying yourself these good things we've talked about today. And the better life, the benefits. So protect your vote. Vote, campaign. Don't wait for Amtike, don't wait for Matakara, don't wait for Mamuko, don't wait for Marutango, don't wait for anyone for Inonge. No, don't wait for those. Go and campaign. This is your election. This is your change. This is for you. So once you've voted, you've campaigned, you've voted, you've protected the vote, we are sworn in, the rest leave it to Barry, leave it to HH and team, leave it to Mulisa Nawamunde and team. We shall work for you together with yourselves. We'll deliver this country, we'll deliver Bulozi. You'll be a proud lot. You'll be a united Bulozi, as the great Lewanika did. You'll be a Bulozi with development. You'll be a Bulozi with a better life, with jobs for the youth and food on the table. And health systems that work, education that work. Mulimami Tuse, for the work you're going to do. The Candeles, Ahuru, the Candeles, na Sakura Chikuma, na Candelera, Ndalumba, the Banababes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hichilema. Thank you very much, our listeners, and all of you who are following us in different radio stations as well as different Facebook pages. This has been Moyaka Kandela Chikwate on a special program where I was featuring UPND Party Hagainde Hichilema President. Thank you very much for listening, and continue and wishing you that to make the right vote. Thank you very much.